To all my haters out there, are you kidding me? I mean, do I really look like what, soft, fat piece of shit? Many worse things have been said. I just discovered stevia in large doses cures the human body. You know what? You don't know about stevia because big business wants to keep you fat and sick. And many of the haters on me, Frank Dukes, Bloodsport, he's been talking to my mom, and it's his theory that many of them might actually be paid, okay, to clown me and to try to keep me back because they're funded by people in industries that make money off treating you like cattle. All right, you know what? Oh, you're sick with this. You're sick with that. Take this pill that doesn't really work. It's chemically made, and they make a lot of money off it. And you know what? The nature stuff, they're down on that. Yeah. So, Corey Paul, thank you for creating this site so I can actually get the message out. And what I want people to do, Corey, you're a disciple. You said that you're part of the Stevie, what is it? The Players Club. Okay. You know what? All people who are true members and followers, get in touch with Joe Achu at ChestRock555 on YouTube. All right, and that'd be a good place to start because he's the new president. All right, and it's like this. Mott's question: how many fighters do you know that would actually get into the cage with only one hand? Okay. Basically couldn't really use their left except to paw and maybe to hand Bon Lapua in so I could get a shot with my right hand, and I did. And it touched Aaron Brink and knocked his mouthpiece out and maybe put him on Queer Street for a bit. And you know what? It touched Harry Gopal in the face and it earned his respect. And you know what? Imagine Dan Quinn punching with his left just like that. And I'll tell you what, my shoulder's back. And so even though I didn't want to rely on fighting to get the word out because there's way too much fighting as it is, all right, around the country, around the world, that's outside of cages, James Peters. What I think is that Dan Quinn shouldn't have to fight to get it famous, but if he must, Randall Lamont would be a real good place to start, Enrique. Anytime, your next show, man. If it's on Indian soil and I don't have to go and get a state license and yada yada, you know what? What I'm saying is, with 6-ounce gloves, man, I'm gonna blow that kid up. And you know what? Yeah. So it shouldn't have to rely on whether I win or lose fights. Like in those pictures in that magazine against Aaron Brink. I mean, I'm looking fucking shredded. Okay. And if everybody around America that doesn't like being trapped inside bodies that are like surrounded with fat, all they got to do is consume stevia, but then they got to afford it. Okay, so this has to be a ground roots movement, Bob Carson. Okay, to actually get somebody like President Obama to wake up. The FDA is run by people that are like Nazi Gestapo. I mean, they're responsible for much more death than ever happened in Auschwitz in Germany. Okay, you know what? Across America, toxic chemicals that can be replaced by healthy things. But health is no good. So you know what? Yeah, I'd like to also apologize to guys like Kimbo Slice for calling you ugly. Okay, that was uncalled for, man. Okay, it was actually kind of mean. And you know what? Tip of the cap for having the balls to actually fight guys that knew how to fight when you didn't. And Brock Lesnar, you know what? If you had hands, if you had Scott Smith's hands with your ground game, there'd be maybe nobody that could touch you on the face of this earth, man. And or maybe jiu-jitsu guys could, okay? But definitely not like a Frank Mir. What's up, Frank? Yeah, it's like this. Everybody that sees the video hears what Dan Quinn is saying. There was a time back in the day, okay, before I went on my little quest to find out that people that aren't superstars are actually cool and worthy, and like the teachers and firemen and garbage garbage collectors and cops. You know what? Barely getting by, hardly getting paid, and then I'm rubbing it with the John McDermott's. People like that. So much money. There's a disconnect, okay, between their reality and the misery that way too many people are living. There's a time when I was a god on this earth, okay? No shit. And you know what? If I'm alive when my discovery gets famous, there's a chance that people might actually start saying, I'm going to, in my mind, do good things, okay? If I was rich, I would make it so everybody had enough. And I'm taking shit from people to the point where, did I say this already? Frank Dukes had a long conversation with my mom because they're going to file a class action lawsuit, okay? For many things, Steve Stevia, okay? The duplicity that it took for you to try to ingratiate yourself. Do you think that I really cared? Do you think that my life is over because you shut down one account? Tell you what, Bob Carson, I didn't call you when you said we could do that interview. I forgot. I should have written it down. And you know what? I'm calling that kid out. And Mott's, you know what? I think it's a damn good idea to, get a traveling cage, so to speak. You know what? I mean, call a gym, in the cities where these guys that have been talking shit on me actually are hiding under rocks and, using the keyboard to say and type what they would never have the nuts to say to my face. You know what? If I start blowing people up with my hands, okay, that might join or generate a little excitement, okay, for stevia and people paying attention. I mean, did I already say this? That I filled this up with delicious food and ate half of it in one night, all right? And the reason for that is this. I haven't been training on purpose for the last 7 days. Well, even longer. I haven't been at Carnage. And Mike Rumsey, when can I pay you so I can start? Anyways, because of water. Bob Carson drank what would have taken me through the rest of the month if I was sweating, and drinking like that. And I tried to keep as much activity down so I didn't use pure. And that leads directly to what could easily end wars, like in Saudi Arabia or wherever in the Middle East, okay, Iraq, wherever they occur. Take control of the water, shut it down. Wouldn't have to use guns, bombs, planes. Without water, I mean, I bet you Chemical America could come up with something that made water maybe even close to deadly, or maybe put people to sleep, okay, if they drank it, and just poured it in there and then had them drink themselves into surrender, all right, General Petraeus. It's like this. Dan Quinn had a chance to go to the U.S. military academies for football, but when the Air Force told me that, oh yeah, you could fly jets, I'm like, wow, you know what, I'm 6'3", and I've already done the research, and that's a lie, okay, too tall, gone. You know what, there was a time when Dan Quinn was solely focused on sports, and that's all that mattered, and really, the only people that did were, peers of his, okay, because they could compete, run, do whatever, throw a football. And, yes, this little journey, figuring out that, there's a lot of really, really cool people, and everybody basically, okay, should be equal, if not pay so much, and that's kind of a different thing, I mean, because I think that money is evil. I think that it's the essence of slavery, okay? But back in the day, like when I was telling Muhammad Ali, remember Muhammad, when I told you at Notre Dame, before Steve Roddy dropped me, I mean, I got up, and I think I would have knocked him out because I would have been pissed and really trying. Anyways, I told you, I thought the bingo bouts was full of shit. I mean, us generating money to go help people in another country when there's poor people right down the street in South Bend, Indiana, okay, that needed our help just as much or more, okay? Yeah. Back then, yeah, I'll tell you what, I got a little sidetracked thinking about that, and it goes like this. Dan Quinn is onto something, all right? Stevia works, and my left arm is back. I can attack with it, just like I attacked Aaron Brink's head with that right that knocked his mouthpiece out. and you know, maybe stun them a little bit. I can do it with both hands. Now, did I really want to? My mouth is getting kind of dry. Did I really want to use fighting? No, because there's too much of it. But if that's all that's left, you know, just about ready, okay, for the full-blown thing. You know, full takedown, whatever. I got to go in and, you know, polish up quite a bit, learn some things. But in punching, anytime, gents. And yeah, Ma, so let's do our thing. If you could help me put some of those things together, that would be a good thing. And put it like this: Dan Quinn didn't get depressed because of the Tara Chow thing, okay, initially. If ever. It was the Vago thing, all right? Losing a whole group of guys that I thought were cool and I thought were my friends. And I'll tell you what, gentlemen, when I got a death threat text from Jack Short, Randall Lamont, ask him, okay? Ask Jack Short if he didn't drunkenly go, oh, you really fucked me. And I said, Jack, you know, me fuck you, homie? Yeah, put it like this. I left you a message saying that, you know what, Crazy Joe blew his fucking top. But, you know what, he'll probably apologize. But, you know what, since we just met each other, you know what, if he doesn't, I mean, whatever I said, man, it wasn't a threat, okay? And you came back with that, and I was like, whoa, did I tell anybody where I live, okay? Do they know? These are serious fucking guys. And so, you know, if you didn't do that, we would still be friends, and that's what sent me into a slump. And you know what? It's like this. I like bikers, always have, after I got to know them. And ironically, if you got to know me, you would feel the same way. But to my haters, I really don't care now. It's to my fans. If you can start posting stuff that is positive, you know, so my kids can look at it, because there's a lot of you out there that call me on a phone, but you don't take the time to actually type it in words, and that would mean quite a bit, because you know what? There's too many of you that realize Dan Quinn is onto something, okay? Both stevia and the violin, they actually work, okay? So it's like this. How many guys can figure out how you can basically lead a lethargic lifestyle, all right? And just use a lot of stevia and you'll be lean, okay? And maybe even borderline ripped. And upgraded the Kama Sutra when you massage the top of the belly when the inside fingers are massaging the bottom of the G-spot, and you stimulate the clit. And you know what? I think a rape victim confined to 2 orgasms, maybe in 2 hours after, you know, her traumatic experience, going triple digits in the same time period, I think that says enough that the violin actually works.